to you today from the Southern Legend Outdoor Studio, the Be a Legend podcast, brought to you from SouthernLegendOutdoors.com. And now your hosts, Kevin Barefield, Kerry Nelson, Ken Butler, and Mark Newell. Heroes get remembered, but legends never die. It's your time now. Be a legend.
Welcome to another episode of the Southern Legend Outdoors Be a Legend podcast. Got the whole crew here tonight. Kerry and Ken, Mark, and got a special guest here with us tonight, my dad, Pastor Brother Ronnie Barefield. Dad, thank you for joining us tonight.
Good to be here.
He's been slated on the schedule to be on one of our shows, but he typically has they have a Bible school for pastors and preachers on Thursday nights when we normally do our recording, and hasn't been able to join us. So we're here tonight on Tuesday night, and just wrapped up another wonderful meal.
Amen.
Thanks to the chef, Brother Kerry Nelson. We ate wild turkey, which I think we could thank Brother Mark Newell for that.
Turkey Whisperer.
The turkey, the true turkey whisperer.
That's him.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
He was good.
Yep. And then the fallow deer.
And fallow deer, yep.
Was provided by Richard Stafford over here.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, we
Yeah,
ate
Richard's
the fallow
with us.
deer, and then we're going to sit here and look at it.
We're looking
Yeah.
at the mount right
Yeah.
there, over his bed.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Richard's here with us tonight. Do you want to make any predictions about Mississippi State football while we got you here?
Will they beat Alabama in 2019? You see him shut his mouth. No more banana suits. Hey, we're not going to beat them either, so what are you worried about?
True.
No.
Yeah.
No, not even close.
We were just talking, and
Well, Brother Ronnie with the Bible Institute, he is partnered in with Brother Mark's pastor, Brother Don.
that's right. Yep.
And I know Brother Mark's went to it a good bit, and I've been to it
6-year graduate, man.
6-year graduate.
That's right.
And it probably, I was telling Brother Jody Harrison, we were talking about the future preachers, and Brother Josh Red. Do you know Brother Josh Red? Yeah. Brother Josh called me. We talked about an hour this week.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Why does North Mississippi have such good churches and as many preachers?" And I said, "Because the older pastors have invested back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have. I mean, they started when I came on the scene 30 years ago. Pastors were invested back."
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's happened. That's why I've got 2 preachers right now that's doing the video part.
Yeah.
Trying to finish up last semester. They do a video satellite type thing, and you can go live.
Yeah.
You know, you can go to the classes. But the neat thing about Brother Ronnie is it's not like Brother Ronnie sits around the house till Thursday because he ain't got nothing to do. He's a very busy man. He travels, he preaches, he pastors. He's got a family, he's got grandkids. But God put this in their heart years ago, probably almost 20 years now.
Yeah, we started the first Thursday night in September of 01.
Yeah, 18 years.
18 years.
So, you know, and there is no telling the impact that they've made in the lives of preachers and pastors through this schooling, and then the contacts that everybody has made through that, and the friendships, and that's why there's such a camaraderie in our area.
Yeah.
And you can tip your hat to this 18 years of school, and I'm just telling you. I tell people that everywhere. Brother Dana Williams tells people that everywhere he goes, he'll say that Bible Institute has put out a fellowship that's beyond compare.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's just what it's done. And these young, and you can tell it in their preaching,
Yeah.
you can tell it in their pastoring, you can tell it in their makeup, how they carry themselves, that they've been a part of that,
Yeah.
you know, because they. And
Well, we started that, to help a lot of the guys pastoring a lot of these local churches, bivocational churches. Some of these guys are pastors. They already had wives and kids. They'd never be able to go to seminary. They couldn't go off to Bible college somewhere, or maybe they could, but they didn't feel that leadership in trying to pastor a little church. So this gives them an opportunity to have, get some Bible knowledge and training, and like I say, then the fellowship, and then just the struggles with the ministry. And a lot of these guys tell me, they said, Brother Ronnie, this is our oasis on Thursday nights.
Yes.
We need this. And in the summer, man, they come back from summer, and man, they'll start texting in August, when we starting back, when we getting class back, So it's been a blessing to a lot of younger preachers and preachers. They're bivocational, all that, and a lot of our churches here in Northeast Mississippi are smaller churches, rural churches, bivocational. So we've met a need there in that, and it has just touched a lot of lives. And now, like, we've got 20-something guys, 25 or 30 registered this semester, and about 20 taking it by long distance. We record the classes, so it's been a real blessing, and I get blessed more out of it, I'm sure, than what I give. But anyway, we're thankful for it and all that God's doing with that.
Well, my dad would, he probably wouldn't bring any of this up, but this also is his 40th year to pastor our church at Unity.
I'll bring it up.
Which is unheard of. Yeah.
I was on video.
Well, I know.
I have put it together.
He was on
you were.
video.
You sure were.
So, and I'm sitting here as the preacher's kid, and I know I look back and I can honestly say there's no regrets, in growing up under the ministry of my dad. That don't mean we always see eye to eye on every single thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can be wrong if he wants.
Yeah. He has been wrong a few times. Yeah.
But we see eye to eye on 99.9% of the things.
Yeah. And we've always had a good relationship.
Good fellowship, and
and we enjoy.
There've been a few times when we had to work together.
Yeah, you don't really want to go there.
Hey, I didn't even think about the stories that we could share. And Kerry, you helped. You remember you worked.
Oh yeah.
You helped Daddy.
Yeah, I was doing
Daddy can relate.
Myself.
That's what I was going to say. You
Back
can relate.
in the 80s and 90s.
You can relate to the bivocational because in my years, all the way growing up through a teenager, Daddy farmed. Now he didn't farm full time, but as y'all know, we came back to Pontotoc County, and Daddy bought 2 or 3 tractors, and we put out anhydrous ammonia for the public early in the spring, and so we'd start doing that about what month? About
April.
About April, and we'd go all the way through at least the end of June.
Yeah.
And it was nose to the grindstone. It was 5 a.m. till 9 o'clock at night every day that he made me do that, and I didn't get paid a dime. But with that being said, no, just wait. I'm not done. I'm not.
Okay.
That sounds bad.
I don't think
But-
he understands. He's the host.
That's right.
You're like a visitor. I'm just a co-host.
That's right.
No.
So if he says wait, you just shut your mouth.
I'm father of the host. Okay. I'm still
that sounds
there.
like a good movie title. Father of the host. Father Brian.
No, but he bought me a truck,
Yeah.
which was grand. I mean, back in the day, kids today, that's just expected.
Yeah.
You turn driver's license.
You work for that.
That's like food on the table. They're gonna get a vehicle, but back in my day, you didn't automatically get a truck when you turned.
No, sir.
No.
And so, my dad bought me a nice truck, and I'll never forget the first truck he bought me was an '84 Chevrolet, aluminum wheels,
Oh yeah.
Edelbrock carburetor, And you know, back in the day, that was,
Oh yeah.
you know, we ran around local town. We didn't.
I picked the honeys up.
We didn't. Yeah, we didn't.
See, that was like in
We didn't
what,
socialize like these kids do
92,
today.
93.
Yeah.
Probably 92 or 93, something like that.
I graduated in '94, so
Yeah.
it may have been closer to 90
90.
or maybe
Yeah,
even
something like
89.
that.
But
But
yeah,
anyway.
but yeah, he bought me that truck, and of course I thought, man, that I don't care how many years I worked, it was worth it for that. But
Sure.
I go back to those days, and as I shared back earlier, when we first started this about being a legend, and my dad is a legend in my eyes.
Sure.
You know, because he taught me more than just how to live. He didn't just tell me how to do it, he showed me how to do it.
Right.
And my daddy taught me about hard work. And so many times the pastorate a lot of times gets thrown under the bus when when you start talking about hard work.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here with three guys who are all in the ministry. You know, and I'm not, but I know growing up the labor that goes into the ministry. And then on top of that, on Monday morning, he'd get up and put his working pants on and his work boots on and would go to work. So I've seen my dad work. He doesn't do it anymore, but he's 65 years old.
Yeah,
But
he's got some
but
discounts
yeah,
now. He didn't
yeah,
have any.
that's right. But he taught me about hard work, and I go back and I think about that, and that was just that was an era of my life. That was a small era of my life, and I look back during the years, and he had me on a tractor when I was literally old enough. You remember we were sticking catalogs
Yeah.
under the seat to get me tall enough. When he
Reach
put me,
pedals.
yeah,
all
and
that, yeah.
and
You know,
and
that
so I
probably wasn't
learned.
the wisest thing to
No.
do. And I was way behind. I needed some help.
Bring him catalog.
Yeah, you're going to drive this tractor.
Can I make a confession
Yeah.
about that era?
Yeah,
That I
because you
probably-
got some stories to share.
Well, but I just need to confess a sin,
Oh, okay.
and I just feel obligated. This would be a good time to tell it. Being I ain't at that church no more.
Bless you, my brother.
I took a church during those days, and in 1994, they said I was full time. I was paid part time,
Yeah.
but the title was full time. And Michelle was in school. We had 2 kids, and you know, his daddy used to say, "I was so broke if it cost a nickel to go to the bathroom, I'd have to hold it." You know, and so we was broke, and I just approached the men. Had 8 deacons, 7 not too much for me, 1 was for me. And I approached them and I just said, look,
Pretty good odds.
I just asked a question. I said, and when y'all say full time, does that, like in the evenings, if I needed to pick up a little work, or on Saturdays, you know, do I have like my own personal time? I can do what I want to do. Full time pay means full time pay. Means you cannot have another job. Okay. Well, I really need one. And so for 2 years, true story, now I'm not just making fun of it, but 2 years they voted my raise down. The raise was brought to the floor and they voted it down. But what they didn't know, what I need to confess, is I snuck over to Hurricane on many afternoons and drove that tractor. and many Saturdays I drove that tractor for Brother Ronnie. I don't know, I probably did that probably 7, 10 times. I came over there. Man, that extra cash showed it helped give Michelle back and forth to get that nursing degree.
Yeah.
So, you know, I really never confessed that. There's no guilt on it. I just thought y'all might want to know.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad.
I'm trying to provide for my
Glad
family.
Yeah.
I appreciate you having that.
We have some other stories to tell with that when you were asked to, you know. And I said, and we were talking, I said, come on up here tonight.
Yeah, I sure did. I needed to.
And him and Michelle and them girls, wasn't no boys in, was it?
She's pregnant.
Yeah. And they just
She's
come up
pregnant
there
with
and spent the night with us that night. Wasn't 30 minutes up the road, but
Yeah.
come in handy that night, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Amen.
We go. I think I said that on the video. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
Said that on the.
Anyway, yeah.
But 40 years. That's. I mean,
Yeah.
40 years. 40 years doing anything, but being at the same church and still
Yeah.
being alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been
Somebody
blessed.
killed
I've got a great church. People very tolerant. You know, they don't expect a whole lot, and so I have fit in there real good. But the Lord let us. We lived in that parsonage, and I know this podcast is not about us, but anyway, let me just say we lived in that parsonage for almost 40 years, and the Lord let us build a house last year. Moved in our own house. And the furthest I could get my wife to move from the church was 1 mile. We moved 1 mile down the road from the church and built a house. And so I'm praying the Lord let me finish out there, you know, till He comes back. But we're blessed. And
Well, could I go on record to say if for some reason that you don't finish there,
yeah.
I will not, under no circumstances, follow you in the same community.
But yeah,
Just
we've
can't
been
do it.
blessed. And I do have good people. They let me travel and preach and go and do, and so we are blessed. And Kevin and my daughter have been a tremendous blessing. They never give us any serious problems.
That you know
And
of.
my wife. Well, I never had to come get you out of jail or anything
Yeah.
like
That's true.
that. I'll say that.
That's true.
And my wife's been a faithful supporter.
Yes.
And I tell the church, tell people, my wife is my job security. They love her at Unity. They might get by without me, but not without Miss Donna.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're blessed. I'm glad to be here tonight. I've listened to these podcasts, man. I have laughed with y'all and then listened and learned. And Mark has so much to say,
Oh, I know it.
boy, about the food plots and
Don't he make you feel like you?
Man,
Just
I'm
knowing
telling you,
him
man.
makes me
Yeah.
feel like I got a degree.
oh man, exactly. And I love hunting. Kevin and I were able to buy some property together in '08, and we developed that pretty good where I can in 15 minutes be out of my house into a shooting house
Yes,
That's
sir.
what I'm talking about.
and see deer
Yeah.
nearly every time we go over there.
Yeah.
And of course, we're at the point we don't shoot unless we can hang it on the wall. Most of the time, we let them go, you know. But we're not trophy hunters. But I don't like dressing them, and so fortunately, the guy that does my deer farm, he lives right across the road from me now.
Yeah. Rocky Clemmer.
So anyway.
Give a shout out for Rocky.
Yeah,
He is
Rocky.
very generous
Rocky.
and takes good care of us.
And then I guess y'all give some shout outs to Brad and Regina. Have you done that yet?
No, we got to get Brad and Regina.
I lost a deer this.
Talk about
this-
the dog pick.
Yeah,
this,
we got to
this-
get them.
Well, you
on
talked
show.
about him one time.
I know.
Back in December, man, I shot that deer that morning about 9 o'clock, and I got a little blood trail. Then we lost it, and so we called them.
It was on Wednesday.
I was on Wednesday and wound up
church.
talking to Regina,
Yeah.
and she said, "Well, I got to feed my children first," and she said, "Then we'll be up." I said, "No, Regina, I'm not going to let you come if you don't let me pay you something." "No, we don't take no pay. We don't take no pay." I said, "Well, just forget it. You're not coming." Well, I said, "Let me pay you guys." And I said, "By the way, I got church tonight." And she said, "Well, I'll have to feed them again." They were 2 hours away.
Yeah, they live. They
They're 2
live down
hours
below
away.
Batesville.
Yeah, so
Oh.
we met them after church for us and for
Right.
them, and like at
At
9:15,
Yeah, at 9 o'clock.
and they
yeah.
come out there with them dogs, man, and I mean by 10:15 we had the deer. We had the deer.
Brad is the dog whisperer.
I'm telling you, man. So I mean, we
We'd have
enjoyed
never.
all-
And by the way, we'd have never found that deer.
no, we'd have never.
Where that deer was.
No, never.
Without them coming up, we would have never found that deer.
That's all on Facebook now. You can look at nose to the ground.
Yeah.
Nose, yeah.
Nose to the ground.
Nose to ground.
And they're statewide. And the ones we've dealt with, I dealt with another boy that day, and he did a good job, but his dog just wasn't up to it that day. But Brad and Regina came in that night. That deer had been shot for 12 hours. We'd lost blood trail. Wasn't no blood trail. After about 30 or 40 yards. And then,
Human sin all over the place too, because we had
Well,
already
they-
been in with another earlier search with another dog, and so I had very little hope
yeah.
that
Well, and I love their ethics. You know, she told me on the phone, she said, Brother Barefield, we don't like the idea of a deer being left laying on the ground somewhere. She said, if we can help you find that, we want to. we get a thrill out of that.
Yeah.
And so it's a very ethical thing, you know,
Sure.
as far as
Help recover.
help recovery. Yeah. And so anyway, you know, but let me say this,
he
I'm
was a
going to
good
shut
deer.
up and let y'all talk about stuff. But I think my biggest thrill, and I've killed some decent deer, not a lot of trophy deer, but 2 years ago, when Bo, my at that time 8-year-old
8-year-old. Yeah.
grandson, killed a pretty decent 8-point,
Yeah.
and they thought they wasn't going to find it. And I told Bo, I said, get it. We had a little golf cart thing. I said, come on, let's go down here close to this pond and see if we can see it. And they'd done been looking for an hour or so close to it. And me and him went down and I saw that belly. And I stopped. And I said, just wait a minute. Wait. So I hollered for Kevin. He was up there on the hill, him and my son-in-law, Michael. And so me and Bo ease around there, and sure enough, Bo gets down behind that. Then I see Kevin come up. Did you find him? Did you find him? Did you find him? And Kevin come off that hill, and he was so thrilled. And Bo, I was watching Bo. Bo's down behind the deer looking up at his daddy and got that old grin on his face like, Daddy, it's just a deer. Yeah. He don't get it, but there's Bo and his daddy and me, and that was
Yeah.
that was special.
That was
Yeah.
a picture it's supposed to be
That
painted,
was,
right?
That was precious, man.
Yeah.
That was. And so, anyway, I love what y'all were doing here and what this is all about. I'm glad to be here tonight.
Well, we have closed out deer season. It's over. Kind of sad. It's funny how every year it seems like the season goes by quicker and quicker the older I get. It's
Yeah.
kind of
January flew.
unexplainable.
It just
Yeah,
seemed
it
like
just-
January
yeah.
flew. I'm sure it still had
And,
31 days, but it felt
Well, it
like
rained
Seems
18
like-
of them. So
Yeah.
We started doing this podcast before deer season started.
Yeah.
And I mean, here we are, and it's over, and I just can't believe it's gone by this quick.
Yeah, but the greatest thing about deer season ending, turkey season's not.
Yeah.
short transition. Short transition.
That's why we ate it tonight to get it, you know.
But I got a story. Apparently, for some people, deer season's not over right now.
No, it's not. Not in the state and in Alabama.
I'm talking about Mississippi.
Southern part of the state, yeah.
But no, I'm talking
No,
about
he's
right
talking
here in
legitimate. He's not talking
I
legitimate.
got a with this
I'm-
look on his
I'm-
face. It's going to be good.
Well, I'm telling you, okay, my girl plays for ICC softball. We all know that, Mary Kate. Shout out to Mary Kate.
There you go.
Mary
Yeah,
Kate.
go Mary
So
Kate.
anyway, we're in Jackson, Tennessee, playing Jackson State Community College.
Yep.
Get there, and there's some dads there. There's a hunters we had talked before, you know, and during the fall, and there's a granddad that I know real well. His granddaughter played for me, travel, and he said, "Hey man, how come you're not hunting today?" I said, "Well, I'm here." You know, I thought he was kidding. He said, "No, seriously, you gonna hunt this week? This is Saturday." And I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, he's still kidding with me. He said, "Man, he said, you know, they extended deer season here in the CWD counties for another week." And I said, "Man, I got my phone, I got my app, I'm looking, I don't see any alerts, I hadn't heard anything." We know, I mean, there's some things we hadn't heard this year. We've talked about on the podcast.
Yeah.
New counties, we didn't know about the new counties coming in, you
Yeah.
know, until
Yeah.
boom, they've been out a week. We didn't know it, or
Right.
several days. So there are some things we hadn't heard
Sure.
about the CWD deal. So anyway, I'm calling some buddies. I'm calling Mitch, and I'm calling, "Man, you heard there's another extension this week till next Saturday?" "Man, no, I ain't going if it's open. I'm done." And called other buddies. Scott coming, "No, I hadn't heard anything." I said, "Well," I just texted game warden buddy I knew, and he just said, "No, it's not open. It's a rumor, a big rumor."
Oh.
So there are people hunting because he was talking to them on the phone in the shooting house.
Wow.
There were people hunting.
That had
The word of mouth, rumor traveling that we know we can't go by.
I did not hear about that.
And it was a big rumor. People were hunting all over the place.
Yeah.
They said that's what I've heard. It's kind of spread.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, man, I
Wow.
heard about it. So anyway, for some people,
I guess
Saturday.
still going.
it's still going.
And I could see how that rumor very easily could come
Because
about.
Tennessee, yeah.
Well, because
Tennessee went a month.
Well, there's
Yeah.
several
They
states,
extended
not
theirs
just
a
Tennessee. There's other states as well that had CWD that extended their season.
Sure. And there were some
So-
bag limits that were kind of crazy on that too.
So
Tennessee,
yeah.
with McNary, those 3 counties, because we were right up there. We were above it, I guess. In Jackson, we were above those counties.
Yeah,
You were
not
you
far
were right.
above it,
Well,
though.
what-
No, you
far.
were just
You
like
went
in the
right through it,
next
yeah.
county above it.
But they're having, was it unlimited does, and they had so many bucks they could kill, and it was some crazy stuff.
Somebody said it had, a guy told me last week, 123 in Tennessee.
CWD.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hadn't heard that
Probably
many.
so.
Yeah, guy.
Yeah, it was 80 at one time. So
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Well, this
Yeah.
was last Thursday night, and at that time had what in Mississippi? 11. I think so. I think they found 11 in the state of Mississippi, but instead it had 123 in Tennessee.
Wow,
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, that was the
that is a hot zone.
yeah.
If there's that many in McNary, or
And I don't know if it was just those 2 counties. I think he said Tennessee, but
yeah, wow.
It's just a waiting game now to see what they
Well,
see what they
I
say
did-
and see what some things going. You know,
I heard that they were considering extending it if they didn't get that 5,000 turn in.
statewide.
You know, they did reach
Yeah,
they reached that 5,000 a couple of weeks
Yeah,
before.
sure.
So they were really ahead of the numbers. I'm sure that's why they
You know, there was
probably
a
thought.
lady senator that produced or authored
Oh,
the bill,
yeah.
co-authored the bill that
Oh yeah,
I think it got tabled maybe, but they're gonna bring it back up about no feeding statewide.
Yeah.
And you know what's gonna happen, or well, you think it may happen, but
Well, boy, there's a
there
it's
may have
gonna
been a
get
lot
real
of
political.
backlash on that too. So
yeah.
who knows? I guess we'll do what they tell us to do. So Mark, now we got the transition. What was the 6-week transition here?
Well, it's less than 6 weeks now.
Well, it's 5. Getting on.
Yeah.
It's probably good. I've always thought it is good to have a little bit of a lull. Gives you a chance just to get a breather before turkey season starts. You can kind of catch your breath. and
yeah.
We can
Get
actually go hunting.
energized. and-
Take your honey out to eat or something, and then
Yeah, because
Honeydew.
every guy
Honeydew.
needs to go repair some things at home. Probably at this
Like
point.
Valentine right in the middle of it.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
there
true.
you go.
Yeah, that's, I mean that's
There
a
you
good
go.
break for us.
What Valentine's Day does for us is remind us that,
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
So if you're listening tonight and you have not taken care of your honey post season, you probably need to consider doing that
right.
before turkey season rolls around.
Last year, around the end of February, 1st of March, took my wife to the Peabody in Memphis for a night.
You see the ducks?
Saw the ducks.
Saw the ducks.
Hey, if you're gonna do it, you got to go all out. I mean, we're gonna do it
on.
because they ain't seeing me for the rest of March, April, May. I'm gone. You know, so,
Ken's
hey,
trying to
it's
come-
worth it. It's
he's
worth
trying
it.
to come to life.
Because
I
Rhonda
sent my wife on a cruise.
Hey,
There
see,
you
you
go.
ahead. You
Yeah.
ahead.
I
You
took mine
had
to
it.
New York
Wow.
between deer.
All right, Kevin, what have you done?
Oh no, I don't count.
Actually,
I don't count. It starts over.
I'm taking mine to Sea Island this weekend.
Really?
You go, fella.
Yes.
And that would be where?
Yeah, but that ain't. No,
that-
you
Is that
can't
y'all's
discount
pond?
that.
That's
You
your
can't.
I'm
No.
taking her to St. Simon Island this weekend.
I know,
No
where's that? I'm
It's,
over
it's
on
on
the
the Atlantic
Atlantic
coast
coast,
in Georgia,
Atlantic
down
Sea.
below Hilton Head, Savannah.
Whoa, you've got a golf tournament.
Yeah,
man.
you
Don't
got-
start that with me, man.
Nah, you
Don't
go.
start that with me, man. Because if you was going to take her somewhere, it would have been there if you just going to take her.
Well,
Y'all be snow skiing or something.
technically I'm taking her, but I am going for a golf tournament. Yeah.
Well,
But I am taking her.
I can say this: I took your mother, my dear wife, who's gone along with me. I took her to Hobby Lobby 3 times, 3 times, and Kirkland's twice.
You may win husband of the year.
So I may be.
Yeah.
I may be.
Yeah, I know my mama. That pretty much.
Yeah.
That was better than taking her on the cruise.
Yeah.
Heroes get remembered, but legends never die. It's your time now. legend.